This is 911. State your emergency. Hello? I can't help you if I don't know where you're at, honey. Where are you at? Where are you? I need as many units as I can get for Fairfield Road. Give me the numbers.
911, what's your emergency?
Hey friends, it's Fletch. I'm Vice President of Public Safety Solutions at 911 Inform. Welcome to this new podcast series, Off the Cuff, Confessions of an ENP. Brought to you by 911 Inform, delivering next-generation 911 services for the enterprise today and making every second count. In this series, we're going to be talking to ENPs that have been on the job for years, as well as those brand new ENPs that have just passed the test. We'll dig in and have an in-depth conversation and find out what the ENP certification means to them. We'll talk about why they did it, what it means for their career, and what they did to pass the exam. Industry certifications are important to industry professionals, and the ENP certification is one that's admired by many in public safety. So join me as we find out exactly what makes an ENP tick in this off-the-cuff podcast series, Confessions of an ENP. Hey, it's Fletch. We're down here in San Diego, California at the NENA Standards and Best Practices Conference. And we're sitting down talking to some of our ENPs that are here. And we've got Holly Barkwell, who is an ENP from Canada, our neighbor to the north. Welcome.
Thank you, Fletch. It's wonderful to be here.
Well, it's good to have you. So, the ENP program is an international program. It's not just limited to the U.S. And we've actually got quite a few people up in Canada that are part of the whole ecosystem.
That is correct. We have a growing number of ENPs in Canada, and I think at last count we have over 140.
Wow.
Nationwide, when we started with, I think, 3. So we've come a long way.
I always tease Fatty when he comes down here. I said, we've got half the ENPs here in the U.S. just to kid him a little bit. How's Fatty doing? I haven't talked to him in a while.
He's doing very well.
So you're down here representing?
I'm down here representing my company, but NENA as well, as a board representative, but also from the Emergency Services Working Group in Canada. We've done a lot of work, and we have a lot of ENPs that are participating in our NG transition plan. So a lot of them aren't able to travel right now because of this silly pandemic, but I'm happy to be here.
It's interesting, Holly, because when I look at Canada, they get very, very proactive once you get CRTC to move on something. Getting them to move sometimes takes a little kick in the butt, but once they go, boy, it's full force. They've said that they're shutting off the legacy carrier network in just a couple of years. Boy, that's a bold statement.
It is. It's a very aggressive statement, but I think it was a bold move, but necessary, because without it, we would never be transitioned. And the whole goal was to be the first country in the world to go NG end to end. And we are getting really close to being.
Now, I know you guys are down into the PSAP testing. You've been doing your ESWG testing, and the guys at Bell Canada and TELUS and MTS are, all doing a great job just getting that whole network together. You've got some great people up there, and a lot of the NPs are sitting together on that ESWG group and really driving the solution forward, which I think is great. Again, tapping into the technologists in the field who know and understand. And maybe it's because it's a smaller group up there. Everybody is like, come on, let's just band together and get it done. There's nothing stopping us from doing this.
We're structured a little bit differently in Canada. The Emergency Services Working Group works under the authority of the CRT, or under oversight of the CRTC, but we are primarily a technology working group. So we don't, or haven't in the past, dealt with operational matters, but we recognize very early on that with NG you cannot just focus on technology. It's a holistic change. It is a forklift change, and it will affect everything and everybody. So we have an operational working group to address the impacts on the PSAP. Thank goodness, because the change management that is required, there is a lot of stress out there over this, and there doesn't need to be, but there is. So we are working to manage that collectively beforehand versus after the fact.
Do you think a lot of that tension comes from people just not understanding what the change is?
Absolutely. There are a lot of people that are technology phobic. I mean, change happens a lot faster than anybody can keep a handle on. Even our technology experts, of which we have numerous ones, but we have Guy Karen, thank goodness we have Dan Mongrain and Guy to drive things, but they're not going to be working forever. So we need to educate people coming up on the 20 and the 18 to 30 age group, and we're just not seeing that representation in the working groups either in Canada or down here, quite frankly. We need to encourage a lot more of that.
I love Guy to death, but he is a big single point of failure. And I'm like, I hope somebody walks him to work so he doesn't get hit by a bus.
Well, we've sequestered him in his home during COVID.
He's got additional rules, right? No, but that's important. But the group that you do have is incredible from a technology perspective. And, I think a lot of credit goes to Bell Canada as well.
Oh.
So Tom Paniak I know really well. And, what a force multiplier he is. And a big supporter of NENA up there. And how's the ENP program viewed up there?
It's actually gaining a lot of traction. So NENA Ontario pushes it heavily. And we have scholarships available for people to write the EMP. If they successfully pass it, then they can be reimbursed for that program.
Oh, nice. Who funds that?
NENA Ontario funds some, so they have a pool. So it's split depending on how many people write. But NENA National has also introduced a scholarship for each region for one person to sit an EMP. So we have a number of ways to access that if you're struggling financially or if your agency's not supporting to do it. But we also have, increasingly, agencies are putting wording in their job descriptions for hiring processes that you require an EMP to apply for a certain position, or you need to obtain it within so many months of gaining that position. So that's a huge improvement and, raising the bar significantly for the industry in general. And I try and encourage, but I don't get out enough to say that, to encourage people to write their EMPs and take advantage of that.
I just have to say hello real quick.
My lovely sister's got a room. She knows I'm doing a podcast, but the mouth just can't stop. I'll get to her. That's okay.
Photo bomb.
Yeah, that's a podcast bomb.
Yeah, exactly.
Tracy's beautiful. I love her. She's a doll. But again, those are the kind of people. Now, we just had, she doesn't realize it yet, but you and I were in the NIB meeting, and we had a great discussion when it came to multimedia, social media, podcast training. And there are differences in the Canadian test. There is Canadian-specific content, and we're going to fix that in the online training by having her create some modules that specifically address. So if we have Canadian participants in a U.S. class, we can have them attend that module, and people that run a Canadian class can utilize that module, because the bulk of the test is the same. There's a finite, specific set of differences.
Yes, and that is fantastic to finally address that. And I'm really excited to see some of the innovations that are happening within our training program, and I want to be able to shout from the rooftops that, we've got good stuff happening, but we got to catch up.
Even though you had your mask on, I could tell the look on your face was not happy when we started talking, and I ran right over and said, "We'll fix this, Holly, we'll fix this." But again, that's the value of being on the NIB, coming to these meetings. You know what? This industry will fix itself. The people that are involved care, and will fix it. And, I'm proud to be part of that with you.
Yeah, so am I. I mean, when I ran for the regional director position in 2017, I think, 2016 or 2017, my only platform was to bring training to Canada in an affordable fashion.
Wow.
And I've been banging that drum for 6 years now, and I will continue to do so until it's a reality. So this week, we have some fantastic news coming out of the NIB, the EAB, and everybody that I think is going to go a long way towards addressing that, and I can't tell you how excited I am.
You can't give me the breaking news?
to talk about it.
I knew I should have had you have a couple of more drinks. Yeah, I'll tell you what it is.
That's right. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. All right. Well, listen, Holly, it's always great to see you.
Yes.
You know, I get to see you a couple of times a year, and it's always good. I don't get to come up to Canada much anymore with COVID, but I'm looking to hopefully break that soon because I love it up there, and I have the friends I have up there are some of the best friends I have.
Well,
and then there's you.
Of course, I'm the best.
You're the best.
And we would love to have you. Hopefully we're having an in-person conference this year in September for NENA Ontario.
Oh, nice.
Fingers crossed, that's the plan. But we adjust and pivot as we always do.
Good deal. Well, listen, Holly, thanks so much. Holly Barkwell, ENP, the Canadian representative on the board. Absolutely. Thanks very much. Have a great day.
Thank you, Fletch.
Bye-bye. Well, that wraps up this episode of Off the Cuff, Confessions of an ENP. I'm Mark Fletcher, ENP, and I'm the Vice President of Public Safety Solutions at 911 Inform. Off the Cuff is sponsored by 911 Inform, delivering next-generation 911 solutions to the enterprise today and making every second count. Visit them on the web at 911inform.com. Remember, you can follow me on Twitter at Fletch911. Check out all my blogs and podcasts at Fletch.tv. And be sure to like and subscribe below. That way you'll be immediately notified whenever a new podcast is published. Thanks so much for listening. If you're in public safety, thanks for what you do. Take care and have a great day.